everyone, it's Vicki from Minerva, and in today's video I'm here to show you 3 brand new base cloths in the Minerva Exclusive fabric collection. Now these are all the absolute epitome of luxury fabrics. They are all pure silk satins, and we have 3 slightly different versions available for you in base cloths. We have some absolutely gorgeous new prints as well that are brand new to the Minerva Exclusive collection. So I just wanted to show you just some of my favourite prints in today's video, and the 3 different silk satin base cloths to show you the difference between them, and also to give you lots of pattern ideas as well, to give you lots of inspiration on the sorts of things you can make with these luxurious, fabulous fabrics. So to start with, we'll just take a very quick look at each of the 3, and then I'll go into more detail as we go through the video. So the first type of silk satin, so this one is just called Silk Satin, and this is a fabulous non-stretch satin. You can see the incredible drape on this fabric. It's absolutely fabulous. It's a satin fabric, so it does have that shimmery finish, but I wouldn't say it is overly shiny. It's a very classy, sort of elegant looking satin fabric. So this one is approximately 129 GSM, grams per square metre, and that puts it in our light to medium weight category here at Minerva, but nearer the medium weight end of that category. So this has a really fabulous weight and handle. It's not see-through, it's not transparent, it's an opaque fabric, and that makes it really, really versatile for lots of different things. The next fabric we have, this is a lighter weight silk satin. This is called Silk Charmeuse Satin, Silk Charmeuse Satin. And this one is, by comparison, is only 70 GSM, so 70 grams per square metre, and that puts it into our lightweight category here at Minerva. So hopefully you can see on camera there, by comparison, just how lightweight and soft and fluid this fabric is. So it still has the same incredible drape, but because it's lighter in weight, you know, it just feels like liquid air. It's just amazing, absolutely fabulous. And then the third base cloth we have in the Silk Satin collection, this is our Silk Stretch Woven Satin. So this one, by comparison, so this is 82 grams per square metre, so it's nearer in weight to the Charmeuse Silk Satin. So it's near, you know, it's classed as a lightweight, it's in our lightweight category here at Minerva, but it does have a little bit more weight. And the main characteristic about this one is that it actually has some stretch. So this is a woven fabric, not a knit. So you treat it just like a woven fabric, just the same, but across the width of the fabric you have approximately 20% stretch, and that means that it's great for fitted garments, because it will make it, one, it will make it easier to achieve a great fit, but 2, it will make a fitted garment very comfortable to wear. But if you're just somebody that likes, you know, perhaps you're somebody that likes wearing knit garments a lot, so you like stretching your garment, well, this is sort of the nearest you would find to that in a woven fabric, because it does have that stretch and give, so it makes your garments even more comfortable to wear. So that very quickly is the difference between the 3 different silk satin base cloths that we've launched. But now let's take a look. We'll start with the silk satin, and we'll take a look at, I've picked out 5 of my favourite designs, which are all brand new prints in the Minerva Exclusive collection. And then we'll also take a look at some patterns that I've picked as well that will be fabulous for the silk satin base cloth. So back to the silk satin here. So with this one, it has an absolutely fabulous weight and drape, does this fabric. If you've ever felt silk satin before, you'll know what I mean, in that it has a handle and a feel to silk unlike any other fabric. It's absolutely amazing. It just feels like luxury in your hands. It's beautiful. Like I say, it has quite a subtle satin shimmery finish. It's not super shiny, and I think that gives it a very elegant, kind of sophisticated look. It's made from 100% silk, and like I said earlier, it's falls into our light to medium weight category, but certainly nearer the medium weight end because this does have quite a substantial weight. And with this sort of fabric, because it's completely opaque, you know, even the lighter weight colours are not see-through, it makes it so versatile. You can make all sorts of things. So you can make skirts, dresses, jumpsuit, trousers, lightweight jackets, tops, blouses, so many things you can make with this fabric. So let's have a look at just 5 of my favourite prints that I've picked out. So this one, the design is called Orchard Charm, and hopefully you can see on camera there about just what a detailed print this is. It's absolutely exquisite. So we have a sky blue colour in the background, and then all these fruit trees are printed on the surface. So we have lemon trees, orange trees, pear trees, we have grapes on there, pears, oranges, all different fruits in all these trees. So it has lots of colour in there, but I think it's the design really that's striking on that one with with just all that detail, lots of fun little colour elements, really, really pretty. Next up we have Sassy Spots. This is one of my favourite designs. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So we have this tealy, turquoisey, petrol-y kind of greeny colour in the background with this fabulous, very abstract kind of animal print on the surface with shades of pastel pink, burnt orange and black in there against that tealy, greeny colour background. It's an absolute showstopper, I think, that one. It's absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, just something a little bit different for an animal print design. Then we have Darting Doves. And this is a much sort of more pared back colour palette, but still a really striking, fabulous design. Now, if you look at this design at first, it just looks like, you know, maybe an abstract, you know, sort of like linear kind of design. But then when you look up close, like if I highlight one here, you can see these little birds that are actually within the design. So there's one there, there's one here. Can you see the bird there? Another one here, for example. So they're all scattered and worked into the design. And I think it's one of those prints that once you see the birds, you then can't not see them, but they are quite hidden. It's really, really fabulous, very unusual, very striking, and it just works so well in silk. Next up we have something very colourful, perfect for summer. So this one is called Summer Pastures. And it has a very bright, bold yellow colour in the background. It's such a happy, joyful print, this one. And then on the surface we have lots of different colours. We have these like little dash kind of like brush strokes with all the foliage and flowers over the top. It's a very kind of abstract design, but just full of colour. And I think, yeah, it's just an absolutely stunning print. Again, one that works so well on the Silk Satin. And lastly, we have Spring Meadow. So this is again very different again. This is another flower and foliage print, this time on a night dark navy coloured background with these pink and like pale gold colours in the print itself. Absolutely stunning. A very sort of classy, sophisticated print, this one, I think. Very, very elegant and a little bit smaller scale as well, so very wearable. Absolutely gorgeous. So they're just 5 of my favourite prints from this new collection, but we do have lots more on the website. And then in terms of patterns that I think are ideal for the Silk Satin base cloth, I've picked out I think 5 patterns to share with you. So we'll insert some images now as I'm talking about these patterns. So first up we have a vintage style pattern. This is from Now and Then Patterns, and it's called the Ritz Pleat Dress. It's a really fabulous vintage style dress pattern, and the sort of the star of the show, if you will, on this pattern is this pleated V neckline detail, which works into a seam line that goes like this kind of shape under the bust. And then you have a skirt that kind of skims over your hips and flares out a little bit towards the hemline. And you have different sleeve, or 3 different sleeve options in this actually. You have a little flutter sleeve, which is really beautiful, a plain sort of like full length long sleeve, and then you have a 3/4 length sleeve or an elbow length sleeve that has a little ruffle detail, or gathered detail rather, just at the bottom. So lots of options on that pattern, and yeah, it's just a really, really, really classy, elegant, vintage style. Next up, I have a robe, but this is a pattern I've actually made a little while, probably a couple of years ago now, and it's Vogue 1610, and it's a really fabulous, quite easy to sew robe pattern that I think for me in this type of, you know, in a pure silk like this, to showcase one of these absolutely stunning prints, I think a robe like this is just fabulous. You know, you can just throw it on over just a simple outfit, you know, a simple vest and trousers underneath, and you know, you're instantly creating a fabulous outfit that you can wear, you know, for lots of different occasions. Yeah, I can definitely recommend that pattern in that it was nice and easy to sew. You have 2 different length options as well. You also have different sash, like belt options that you can use. You can add if you want to tie the robe in and give a bit of definition. Yeah, really lovely pattern. Next up, I wanted to include a cord set, because I think if you want a full head to toe look in silk satin, a cord is a fabulous option because you've got so much versatility with it. This is the Esty pattern from Tilly and the Buttons that I'm looking at, and you know, you could, so with this you can either wear it as a full outfit, you know, the top and the trousers together, and that almost gives you a faux jumpsuit kind of look, which I think it would be fabulous in one of these satins. And you could really dress that up, you know, wear it to a special occasion, to a wedding, something like that, or you know, a day out or something. But I think equally as well, you could wear them as separates with maybe other more dressed down items in your wardrobe, and that would give a completely more casual look that you could wear to other, you know, other types of occasions, maybe not quite so fancy, and get lots and lots of wear from the items in your wardrobe. So yeah, that's a really lovely top and trouser or short option as well. A nice and easy to sew pattern, that one as well. I've also included another cord, but very different this time. This is New Look 6722, and this is a really, a very cute summer kind of crop top and a wrap over skirt. So I think if you wanted to make a skirt in this sort of fabric, just using the skirt pattern just from this option is a really lovely option. You know, if you're not into a crop top kind of look, you know, you could just pair it with you know, another top in your wardrobe, or perhaps another pattern, maybe like a shell top pattern or something like that. But if you wanted to go for the cord look, I think this is a really lovely pattern option. Yeah, I love the fullness of that skirt. I love the tie bow detail on the skirt, and then that neckline on that little crop top is really lovely. And last of all, I wanted to include a show-stopping kind of dress pattern that will be easy to wear, nice and comfortable. So I've included the super popular Valley dress and top from Pattern Fantastique. So this has a top and a dress pattern option in the pattern, and this pattern has a full, very big kind of like puff sleeve that draws in at the bottom to give it sort of that shape and that fullness. It has a round neckline that actually ties with a little cord. It has this panel detail at the bodice, and then the skirt part, or the bottom of the top if you will, gathers into that, which creates a really beautiful kind of fullness and oversized feel. And the dress also includes big roomy pockets as well, and it has a beautiful shaped curved hemline. It's an absolutely gorgeous pattern. It definitely has sort of like a classic 70s glam rock smock kind of, you know, feel to it. But yeah, if you want to go all out in making a silk garment, I think that will be an absolutely fabulous pattern. So that's all my pattern picks for the silk satin fabric. So next, let's take a look in detail at the Charmeuse silk satin fabric. So this is the very lightweight, very soft, very airy and drapey kind of silk satin. It feels like liquid gold. It's just amazing. It's the fluidity and softness and just the handle of this fabric is It just feels so luxurious. It's absolutely gorgeous. So again, this one is made from 100% silk fibres, and it has, again, that very soft, subtle kind of shimmer satin finish. It's not very, very shiny, so that soft, subtle shimmer is just very, very, I think, classy and elegant. Very kind of, it's a very sophisticated looking fabric. So this one, like I said before, is approximately 70 grams per square metre, and that classes as a lightweight fabric here at Minerva. Some of the prints in this range are ever so slightly sheer, maybe some of the lighter colours, but most of the colourways you can't see through. So, depending on what you're making, you may want to line this fabric just with it feeling so light and airy. Some people prefer a little bit more coverage, but for lots of garments, you wouldn't need to line it or worry about that. So we think it's the perfect choice for sewing dresses, for sewing blouses, you can make tops, robes even. It will be lovely for making like pyjamas and lingerie, but it was also beautiful for making little scarves as well, maybe little head scarves, neckerchief scarves, yeah, just as a little accessory. It's a beautiful lightweight fabric that's ideal for that as well. So in terms of prints, so this one is called Rose Reception. So it's a beautiful floral print in that soft salmony pink, rose pink shade. There's actually a gorgeous make just been shared on Minerva using this fabric to make like a dressing gown come robe. It's absolutely stunning. Do go and have a look at it, and yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. The next design I've got, so this one is called Counting Koi. And we have those beautiful fish design with all these floral and spotty sort of pattern details on them that just kind of, well, they add so much detail. It's absolutely beautiful, this print. It's a very, very pale blue come silvery grey colour. Very, very pastel shade. And then the actual design itself is drawn on in like a black inky kind of charcoal grey colour. And that really kind of sings on that very, very pale background. It just looks so delicate and so pretty, that print. Next up we have, this is one of my favourites. It's called Succulent Seeds, and it just has all the sort of colours that I love in it, this print. So we have teals, greens, pinks, limes, hints of lilac and purples. Lots of different colours in this one, and it really is a very kind of abstract design. It almost looks like either like little seeds or little splodges. You could almost maybe see florals in there. Like I said, very abstract. You can really again see the like the paint strokes from the original artwork that went into this, and then that how that translates on fabric. It's absolutely gorgeous, like a work of art on fabric. Next up we have a gorgeous floral print design. So this one is called Pansy Poems, and how stunning is this? If you love florals, I think you'll love this design. It has a rich royal blue background, or quite a deep royal blue background actually, but very vivid. And then these beautiful pinks, purples, turquoises in the flowers on the surface. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the fifth design in this one is this one actually on the mannequin here, which is called Animal Light. And it's just an absolutely fabulous animal print design that looks quite blurry. It's quite an unusual animal print, and it's like a night, almost between like a navy and a black colour in the background, with these oranges, peaches, turquoise, lilacs and purples in the animal print. It's absolutely stunning. I've definitely got some of that one in mine. It's so cute. And then patterns for this fabric. So obviously with this fabric, it's lightweight, it's very soft and airy. you know, so that lightness in the weight of the fabric you want to kind of take into consideration. So first of all, I've got the Lila tiered skirt from Stylark, and this is a very simple elastic waistband skirt that has 3 tiers, that's a midi length. And I just think the lightness of this fabric will really suit those beautiful gathering details. It's going to feel fabulous on, and will be the sort of garment that you can dress up or down accordingly. Next up, we've got the Minerva Exclusive Patterns Victoria blouse. This pattern is a fabulous top pattern that you can dress up or down. It's actually the one I'm wearing today. This is actually in a viscose challis fabric. And yeah, so it suits a fabric that is woven, that has lots of drape. So the silk satin is just perfect for it. And it will make a very kind of elevated, dressed up, fabulous Victoria blouse. Next up, I've got a lingerie or a sleepwear pattern, and this is Simplicity 8800. So on this you have 2 different tops, 2 pyjama bottoms, and then 2 different robes with a sash like belt tie. And all the pieces on this in this pattern, it's a really fantastic value pattern. So all of these you could make using the silk satin, and you know, it would just make the most fabulous luxury sleepwear. It would just feel amazing. Next up, I have a jumpsuit and dress pattern. This is New Look 6373, and I thought the ruffle along the views A and B would hang absolutely gorgeous in this satin, with it being nice and lightweight. Equally, the ruffles on view D around the skirt, that would all hang and drape beautifully, or even just the simplicity of view C, you know, would showcase one of these prints absolutely beautifully. And then lastly, we have the Dovestone dress, which is from Isoso Studio. This is a fabulous dress pattern that has a V neckline, a slit up the front. It's a maxi length, and it has tie details which sort of ruche in at the waist that give you some shape definition. Quite a simple dress, very elegant, and again, in one of these silk satins would just be fabulous. It would, you know, create a really special occasion, you know, something you could wear to a wedding or a garden party or something like that. Would just be absolutely gorgeous. So next, let's move on to the third and final option in our silk satin collection, and this one is our Silk Stretch Woven fabric. So this, I guess, is the most unusual of the 3, but with this fabric, this is made from 95% silk and 5% elastane fibres. So what that does is it gives stretch to a woven fabric. So the other 2 options, you know, have no stretch at all in them. They're just, you know, a non-stretch woven. But with this one, so it doesn't have any stretch down the length of the fabric, but from selvage to selvage, that actually stretches approximately 20%. So it's got a good amount of stretch in there. And basically what that does is it will make achieving a fit, you know, a good fit on a more fitted silhouette much easier, because you have a little bit of wiggle room in there with that stretch. And what it also means is that whilst you're wearing that garment, you know, it's going to make it much more comfortable to wear, because the garment will, you know, will stretch with you as you move. So if you're someone that definitely likes comfort in your garments, or you know you're going to be making something particularly fitted, this could be a really good option. I think for someone like me as well, that I do tend to wear a lot of knits in the clothes that I wear every day. So when I come to wear a woven garment, having some stretch in there sometimes is a really nice option. It just feels very comfortable, and you know, has that stretch. You know, not the same as a knit fabric, but you know, the give and the stretch is there, albeit with this being a woven. So this fabric, just like the last one we looked at, is very light and airy, with lots of, you know, it's got such a fluid drape. You can hopefully see that as I'm holding that up there. It just feels absolutely amazing. It feels incredibly silky, just so luxurious. It really is, these fabrics really are the epitome of luxury. And with this one, again, it has that subtle satin finish that, you know, so it's not super shiny again. It's very, very classy, very sort of elegant and sophisticated. So this one, like I mentioned earlier, is approximately 82 GSM, which puts it in our lightweight category. And again, in most colourways, this one is opaque. If you had a very pale coloured background on any of the prints, you know, and you were making something super fitted, you might then want to consider lining, but you certainly, you know, you wouldn't need to. And so we think, you know, this is the perfect choice really for tops, blouses, skirts, dresses, jumpsuits. So much you can make with this fabric. It's just, yeah, very, very versatile. And like I say, if you're considering something that's a little bit more fitted, it could be a really good option. So prints wise, so this first design is called Poppy Passion, and it's a really beautiful, quite like a messy floral, if that makes sense. So you can see all the sort of paint splatters, the paintbrush marks, and the sort of the paints have bled into each other, all the colours. So it's a very abstract floral with all those hot pink colours in there. It's just absolutely stunning. Really is, again, a work of art on fabric, that one. Next up we have, so this one is definitely more calm and serene. So this one is called Subtropic Serenity, and this one, it has beautiful sort of palm trees, all those different shades of greens, and actually a few hints of blues and purples in there in those beautiful leaves. Again, it's like an ivory and cream colour in the background. Very, very sort of elegant and sophisticated, that print. Then we have an animal print design. This one is called Kiss Chase, and this one is full of lots of gorgeous colours. Another animal print design that almost has a blurry kind of feel to it. It kind of softens the line on those animal prints, gives it a more abstract kind of feel. At first glance, you might not even see that this has you know, that this is sort of like an animal print design. It is very, very abstract, just gorgeous, and the colours in that one are very, very, very pretty. And then next up we have, that this is one of my favourites, this is called Pretty Pointillism. And with this one, you're probably not going to be able to see the details enough on this on camera, but from a distance, you know, it looks like a very beautiful leaf print design, gorgeous colours with blues and bronzes, a hint of yellow, navy blues, creams, lots of gorgeous colours in there. But then when you look up close, you can actually see that the whole design is made from little dots, hence the name of the fabric. So it's very, very detailed and very, I think it's one of those prints that when you look up close, it kind of surprises you, and it's just absolutely stunning. Such an unusual design. But if you can't see that on camera, please do take a look at the images on our website, because you'll be able to see the details of that one then. And then lastly, I've got something a little bit brighter, a little bit bolder. This one's called Moonbow Monstera, and we have on this one Monstera leaves in all these gorgeous rainbow colours. Isn't that just magnificent? Oh, I think it's amazing, this print. So it's a black background with all these Monstera leaves printed with, well, in a whole rainbow of colours. It's just gorgeous. Oh, I think that's absolutely such a striking print. And yeah, if you love colour, I think you'll love that one. So in terms of some pattern inspiration for these, the Stretch Woven Satin, so first up I've chosen Burda 6632, and again we'll insert some images of these. So this is, it's a very popular pattern here on Minerva, and I think it's one of those that often gets overlooked, but it is a really lovely pattern. So it's a V-neck blouse top. You have two different options with it. So you have a long length sleeve option or a sleeveless option. And there's actually a band that works around the front detail, front opening, if you will, right the way around the neckband. And it's only on one of the options that it actually has buttons up the front. So you can choose whether you want to leave it as more of like a pullover top, or add the buttons as a fastening detail, which I do like that option, that you could apply that to either view really. And then it has, from the shoulder detail here, it has some like three little pleat details. and that's what gives the shape around the bust. So yeah, just a very lovely blouse with some interesting little details in there, something a bit different. And the reason I chose this for the stretch satin, I mean, you could make this in, you know, the other two as well, but I thought with it being a blouse that's maybe, you know, a bit more fitted round the shoulder line here, those sleeves, having that extra stretch, you know, it's just an example of where you could take a stretch woven for a pattern that's not designed for stretch, and you know, it's just going to give you a more, I guess, an even more comfortable garment because it will allow for stretch as you move in it. Next up, I've got a gorgeous dress pattern. This is McCall's 7381, and this is the ones I really love on this are views C and D, which have like a little tie sort of detail at the front, which means you've got fabric that sort of comes into that, and I think all those sort of ruching details in this fabric would sit and hang really beautifully. And it would just distort that print just at the front of the body and would just create, I think, a really like interesting kind of look. You've got all different sleeve options on this pattern. You've got different length options as well. Yeah, lots of interesting sort of pleat details that come from the shoulders, pleat details that go into the curved waistband seam. Really lovely summer dress pattern that I think you could dress up or down. Yeah, you could certainly make a special occasion kind of dress in these fabrics. Next up, I've got Butterick 6130, and this is a dress or a jumpsuit pattern. I must admit, I chose this for the jumpsuits just to give you, you know, something different to the dresses, you know, the other dress patterns I've picked. But I must admit, the dress options are really lovely as well. So they all have this kind of wide scoop band detail around the neckline, for want of a better expression. They have a fitted panel at the waist, and you have sleeveless options or a little cap sleeve. And then the skirt or the jumpsuit, or the legs on the jumpsuit rather, are all sort of, you know, they create a little bit of shape from that fitted bodice. So the skirts are fitted and then swoosh out towards the hem, and then the trousers are quite wide leg trousers. So all that fullness in either the skirt or the trousers is just going to hang and drape beautifully. Really fabulous pattern. Again, one that I think would be really elevated by making it in a fabulous silk satin. Next up, I've got a skirt pattern. So this is McCall's 7931, and yeah, this is just a really beautiful, very simple skirt pattern. So you have 3 different length options and the option to put a side slit in as well, and at least one of these is cut on the bias as well, so that's another nice option to have. Yeah, and just, you know, will hang fabulously in a silk satin like this. Again, I chose this in a silk satin just as an example of a, you know, a pattern that doesn't require a stretch fabric, but I think if you made this in the stretch version, you know, it's going to be extra comfortable to wear, and you could even sew it with Mariflex Gutterman thread, which has a little bit of stretch in it, so the, you know, even the stitches then would stretch with you as you wore the garment. Yeah, really simple, classy, elegant kind of skirt pattern, that one. And then lastly, I've included a loungewear or sleepwear pattern. This is the loungewear camisole / nightie from Style Arc. And I think this is the type of pattern that you could, you know, you could wear it as sleepwear, you know, use it to sleep in as like a nightie at night, or you could wear it as just a camisole top or a slip dress. Very simple pattern. It would showcase one of these prints beautifully. Again, with it being relatively fitted, you know, again, the stretch of this fabric comes into play here, and yeah, it's just, with it being such a simple design style, it would show off one of these prints absolutely beautifully. And it looks like you also get a free little eye mask pattern included in that, which again will be beautiful in the silk satin as well. So that's all my fabric and pattern picks there. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at those, and I hope it was useful to be able to look at the 3 different silk satin base cloths, just to know the differences between them, because I know it can be confusing, you know, if you know you want a silk satin but then you see there's 3 different options available, you know, which one is going to be best for my project. And I think it's important to say that if you're choosing a pattern that requires a woven drapey fabric, you know, any of the three are likely going to be ideal for your project. So if you see a print in one of them and really want that design, you know, I'm sure it will be suitable if that's the sort of pattern style you're going for. But of course you can always, you know, just email us in at Minerva or leave us a comment here and we'll be able to help, you know, answer if this fabric is going to be suitable for the pattern that you're interested in making. But just knowing that the silk satin is a little bit heavier, the Charmeuse silky satin is a little bit lighter, and then we have the stretch option as well. Just knowing that, you know, the main differences between them, you know, might just steer you in one direction or the other when coming to choose your fabric. So just to mention about when purchasing fabrics here from us at Minerva, so you can order from 1/2 metre upwards of any of our fabrics here at Minerva, and we do sell in 10cm increments. So for example 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 metres, etc. So if you only want, you know, if you only need 1.1 metres for your pattern, you know, you only need to buy exactly what you need. You don't need to round it up to the nearest 1/2 metre or a full metre, so there's no wastage on that front. We do also sell samples of any of our fabrics, so you're welcome to order any sample of any fabric you like from us if you want to just see it in the flesh before committing to buy. You know, we totally understand when buying fabrics online, you know, it is more tricky, and you know, sometimes you just want to see, you know, the fabric in the flesh first, so maybe assess the colours, that sort of thing. So our samples are a full width of the fabric by approximately 10cm, so it gives you a really, you know, a decent sized piece to be able to see all the colours in the print, really see how it handles and drapes. You can even test washing it, test sewing it, that sort of thing. We do also offer free super fast worldwide delivery as well, so wherever you are in the world we can send fabric parcels of joy out to you, and we do you know, we do use super fast services with Royal Mail and different couriers, and we do have free delivery options as well wherever you are in the world. If you're a member of the Minerva Craft Club, we do offer 10% off, you can get 10% off with your Craft Club membership, and that applies to all the fabrics and the patterns I've mentioned today, but also everything else on our website as well. If you're not a member, you can join anytime, and from the time you join for a whole 12 months afterwards, you'll get 10% off absolutely everything on Minerva. So that's on top of any offers or special promotions we run, it's on top of any sale prices, so you're always saving with that Craft Club membership. So if you are interested in that, we'll put a link below and do check it out. With all the fabrics I've mentioned today, they are, you know, definitely more slippery fabrics to sew with. You know, they're not the easiest fabrics to sew with, we won't lie. They are definitely more slippy and, you know, a little bit more shifty to handle. But I do often think that that's kind of a trade-off sometimes, because yes, they're a little bit more difficult to sew with, but the resulting garment that you get is absolutely fabulous and feels incredible when you wear it. So you know, they really are worth sort of the time, the investment into them. But if you are new at sewing with slippery fabrics, we do have a video that Jo, one of our amazing tutors here at Minerva, filmed. So she filmed it a little while ago now, but it's still full of absolutely fantastic tips and help and advice to help you with sewing with slippery fabrics. So we'll put a link to that below and you can check that out if you're interested. So I think that's everything I wanted to mention today. Thank you for bearing with me. I know it's a lot to get through today. Do let me know in the comments below which was your favourite fabric, which was your favourite pattern, what would you sew with these fabrics? I'd love to hear from you. As always, you'll be able to see on Minerva what other makers in the community have been making with these fabrics and patterns, and you are more than welcome. Please do join our Minerva community and share your own projects. We'd love to see what you're making. You can you know, look at what other makers in the community are making. You can share your sewing plans with us. You can ask for help and advice. It's just a wonderful sewing community to get involved in online, and it really is a welcoming, inspiring place to be on the internet. So please do come and join us. And yeah, I think that's everything for now. So thank you very much again for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another video filled with fabric and sewing products.